Hi guys, I'm Ghost Masala and welcome to a brand new series on the channel, which is going to be World Cup guides to various teams. And as this is a new series, and this series is going to take me a lot of time to do per episode, you'll see why in the detail of the stuff that I've had to do in order to get this done. So if you could please leave a like on the video, that would be very much appreciated. I'm planning to do this series once a week. There will be one on Saturday though, because I'm on holiday. I'm not on holiday, but I've got school holidays at the moment, so I have the time to make another one before then, but otherwise it'll be once a week. But please leave a like. This had taken me a long time to do and compile and decide. So what this is I'm going to, so of course the guide today is to Colombia, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the starting 11 of Colombia, explain a bit about them, what threat they could be, where their weakest position and strongest position is, and just generally the players that you haven't heard of. So we've all heard of James Rodríguez and Falcao, but what about the rest of the starting 11? Is it strong enough? And also this is sort of a prediction of the starting 11 that I think Colombia will go with. And let's get straight in, because of course I don't want the video to run on too long. And first up we have the goalkeeper, and I have gone with David Ospina here. It was close one. There's been a couple of good goalkeepers in the Colombian league itself, but I believe Ospina was the only good one outside of the Colombian league, and he has played in the cups this season and he's done quite well. He's so yeah, of course he's a goalkeeper. He's 29 at the moment. He'll be 29 when the World Cup starts, and he did win the FA Cup last season with Arsenal. And he, while he hasn't made that many, I mean, he's made virtually 0 appearances in the league this season due to Petacek. He has been the cup goalkeeper, and he has had 4 sheets in the Europa League, which is quite good. And as there's been quite a lot of contesting in the Colombian league in terms of who's the best goalkeeper, I'm going to stick for Ospina in goal, as I believe he is probably better than the other goalkeepers who are maybe a bit inconsistent, and he's always a good one to go with, if you get what I mean. So I think Ospina will be in goal. And now we have one of the strongest positions in the team in the fullbacks, and we have the left back of the team, Frank FABRA. Oh yeah, just to make sure, I'm going with a 4-1-3-2 formation for Colombia to start off with. And yeah, so at left back we have Frank FABRA, and yeah, he's been playing very well in the Argentinian league, and he's 27 years old, and and he's been linked with Napoli and Everton in the Premier League, despite being relatively old, as you would say. And that's quite good for a fullback to be linked from the Argentinian league to be linked to the Premier League. And yeah, he's probably been the best left back in the Primera Division, which is Argentina's top league, and he did win that with Boca Juniors in 2016-17. And you'll see that Boca Juniors is quite a recurring theme in this Colombian lineup. And next up though, at centre back we have probably a more familiar name in DAVINSON SÁNCHEZ. And of course DAVINSON SÁNCHEZ plays at central defence. Of course you've got his, what I think his FIFA card will be, over there to the right. And yeah, he of course plays for Spurs, and he has played quite a lot of games this season. I think Alderweireld might have been injured, but as he's only I think he's 21 at the moment. He'll be 22 by the time the World Cup starts. But yeah, he's only 21, and he's shown so much promise already, and he's been so consistent in the Premier League. There's no way DAVINSON SÁNCHEZ will not make the starting 11. No way. I mean, the centre backs were quite easy to choose anyway, but he will definitely make the starting 11. He was voted Ajax's best player of 2016-17, and he joined Spurs for 42 million. And as I said, he's been a great backup for Alderweireld, and he doesn't look too outclassed in the Premier League, which is a great sign for him. It looks like he could be one of the very stars of future next World Cup, with prime James Rodríguez and DAVINSON SÁNCHEZ at centre back. Wow, that could be very good for Colombia indeed. But next up we have YERRY MINA, and another central defender. I thought he was younger than DAVINSON SÁNCHEZ, but it appears not. And he central defender who recently moved to Barcelona for 11.8 million. And yeah, so he moved to Barcelona from Palmeiras. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. But yeah, he looks promising. He's only played a couple of matches for Barcelona so far, but he looks like he could be a good replacement for PK. or at least a backup, and I have gone for him instead of, I think there was an AC Milan defender, but he's not played much either, and YERRY MINA was playing basically every game for Palmeiras before he got his transfer, and it's early days at Barcelona, so we'll have to wait and see until like PK gets injured or something like that, whether he is as good. And he did win the Campeonato Brasileiro in 2016, and I think he will be picked in the team. And we have another one of the, I said the fullbacks were strong, and we have another great fullback here in Santiago ARIAS, plays for PSV Eindhoven in the Dutch league, which is slightly less top league than the other ones, but it's still very good. He's 26, yes he is, trying to do maths here, and yeah, he's 26, and he's been linked with a lot of people. He's had 3 goals and 6 assists this season from right back. He'll probably get into FIFA team of the season if you play FIFA, of course he was in the Colombian, he's been playing for Colombia for a while. He came 3rd in the Copa America with Colombia. I mean, quite a lot of this team did, but the central defenders, I don't think were in that. I don't think they were in that team. So, but Santiago ARIAS definitely was, and with PSV, he's done very well. That is a lock. He will definitely be in the team if he's not injured. And next up, we move on to the midfielders, and we have the defensive midfielder of the team in Wilmar Barrios, and he plays in a sort of central defensive midfield role, and plays for Boca Juniors again. He is the second Boca Juniors player in this 11, and we would have 3, but unfortunately Edwin Cardona has been banned for 5 matches and therefore will miss the World Cup, so we won't have another Boca Junior player in this team. But he get my words out. So Wilmar Barrios is 24, and of course I'm pretty sure he must have been linked with much of Europe. He's nicknamed the Colombian Kante. That just shows you how good he is. You've got to be quite good to be compared to Kante. And he, again, of course, just like Fabra, he won the 16-17 Primera Division, and he's very good. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw him in the Prem or in the Calcio A anytime soon, because he is a top quality player. And I think he'll do well in future, and he'll be crucial in that central defensive midfield role for Boca. And I went for him instead of, I think, is it Carlos Sanchez? I'm trying to remember his name, but he used to play for Fiorentina, and I've gone for Barrios instead of Sanchez because Barrios, I think he's younger, he's more in form, he's quicker, and I believe Sanchez actually got loaned out this season from Fiorentina, so I have to go for Wilmar Barrios for him. And now we have a different league, and one that quite a lot often people associate with money. We have GIOVANNI Moreno, and this card, if you've been seeing the FIFA cards on the left, this one took me absolutely ages to make because unfortunately he's not in FIFA, he hasn't been in FIFA for a long time. So anyway, let's not go into that. But yeah, we have the first of the sort of front 3 people behind the 2 strikers, and we have Moreno, definitely the weakest of the 3, well, I would say. But of course, he's been incredibly consistent for Shanghai Shenhua. He is getting on a bit, he's 32, but he gets about, from central attacking midfield, he gets a goal every 3 games for Shanghai Shenhua, which is just absolutely amazing from central attacking midfield, and it just shows that he will definitely, I think he'll get into the squad easy, and I think he'll get into the team too. And he did win the Chinese FA Cup in 2017 with Shanghai Shenhua as well. I think he's consistent. He'll bring sort of consistency to the table, a bit of just a link-up play with our next person in the list, in the team, who is of course the talisman, the one you were all expecting, and he is here, James Rodríguez. He plays in central midfield, of course, and I mean, you've almost certainly heard of him if you're clicking on this video. He plays with Bayern Munich. He got loaned out last season from Real Madrid, and of course he absolutely lit the last World Cup on fire. 6 goals, golden boot. Will he have the same impact this time? It's hard to say. I think he will. He probably should do. He'll be 26 by the time the tournament comes around, and I think he'll be the main person to add a new dimension to the team And of course we know about him now, we know he's very good. Will he score a classic goal like last World Cup? And I mean, you can just look at those achievements. He's already won the Bundesliga. He's like, if you look at his link-up play and stuff, he's just leveled up his game to another level this season, I think. And it's just great. And of course he won La Liga last season too. But will the team be good enough around him to help him out with this? Well, that's what you've got to check. And now we have maybe a slightly dodgy pick, but I am putting in Juan Cuadrado out of position at the sort of right cam. He normally plays on the wing, but he'd be playing in sort of a cam position. In this team, of course, he's a right winger normally, but yeah, and he does play for Juventus in Italy, who are one of the best teams. Well, they're the best team in Italy, surely, but they're one of the best teams in Europe. And Cuadrado has played well for them. He hasn't played that much this season, as much as he did in previous seasons, but he has definitely played a lot, and he is aging slightly. He'll be 30 by the time World Cup comes around, but he should still have enough pace. And of course he's he won the Serie A last year, and he's been in Italy. I just think, and he actually got the second most assists in 2014 World Cup out of everyone. So that just shows how fast and pacey he is, and what links he has with the rest of this team. And we do have Carlos Bacca up next, striker for Villarreal, and this second striker spot, I mean, you all know who the other striker's going to be, but this striker spot was the hardest to choose from. Because I don't know, they're all average, but I did go for Carlos Bacca because he's sort of older, but he's been the consistent one. And also he had the second most goals for Colombia in qualifying, so which is like after James Rodríguez. So that's good. That shows he can link up well with the rest of his team. And he has had 15 goals contributed, so that's, I think it's 10 goals and 5 assists, which is not bad, but it shows he's going to sort of be the hold-up play man in the team. He's just going to hold the ball up and look for the pass / go for the shot. He is coming off of a slightly bad form season, but then most of the others are too. Muriel's been not good. Yeah, I just think he'll be a good hold-up player, and he could come off for a pacey striker like Muriel off the bench. And yeah, this is the spot in the team that I'm probably least sure about. But yeah, let's move on to the final striker, and it's someone who missed the last World Cup in the form of Radamel Falcao. And he plays at striker, of course, and he plays for Monaco too. He's back at Monaco. Yeah, he's back at Monaco after some very dodgy loan spells in the Premier League. Oof, we just don't want to remember those. He is 32 now, but I think he'll hit peak form. Not peak form, but he'll be great for the World Cup team. He's been around a bit, and that means he scored 29 goals. He's Colombia's all-time top scorer. Almost certainly will be surpassed by James Rodríguez, but it's definitely something good. And you could just look at his goal-scoring record for Monaco, even with those dodgy spells. Sorry, in the middle for Chelsea and Man United, he still managed to get 50 goals in 72 games and keep his form going. And I mean, that is just great. And he's not even the main striker most of the, well, I mean he is, but you know, there's other strikers some of the time. And yeah, he's just like all the rest of Monaco have been bought up. But as Falcao's old, I mean, Falcao got taken by Chelsea and Man United anyway. But yeah, as the rest of Monaco have gone away, but Falcao remains, and he is probably going to be Colombia's biggest goal threat of the tournament. And so to round up, I think Colombia will, I don't know, their weakest position I would say would probably have to be their midfield. James Rodríguez is the strongest one in the midfield, but hopefully they don't end up playing someone like they have aging central mids who I didn't put on here, and who could be easily beaten. And they do have the possibly inexperienced Wilmar Barrios in there, but I'm sure he'll develop, and he could develop at the right time, being at the World Cup. And yeah, yeah, apart from that, I mean, I didn't choose anyone for the Colombian League in this team, just because I was going to, but then I didn't, because I saw that Chinese, the guy who played in the Chinese league, and I just thought, what a record. We'll just have to see if this team gels together and sticks together, and if you have any suggestions for who I've missed or anyone that I've missed, or any differences, please leave them in the comments, and also please leave which teams should I do next. I'm not going to do any big teams like Germany, or I'm just going to do teams where you don't know all of the players in them, like Colombia. You probably never heard of that guy who played in the Chinese league. You probably never heard of Wilmar Barrios, but I predict that he will be the upcoming star, Wilmar Barrios. I reckon he'll have a great World Cup. But yeah, so what was I going to say? Yeah, so please leave suggestions. Maybe someone like Iceland next, or something like that, because they have quite a lot of players that you haven't heard of. But yeah, I should probably wrap up now. So yeah, please leave a like if you've enjoyed this. All the cards and database took me ages to find, as well as ranking the teams and seeing if they were good. So yeah, please leave a like, and thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please subscribe and hit the notifications. I upload every Wednesday and Saturday, and yeah, hopefully there hasn't been any Japanese info today, otherwise, oh well.